This podcast is an assignment for ED 530, utilizing emerging technologies to improve learning. This podcast was designed, created, and narrated by Margaret Ann Goodlin. Hello, and welcome to Maggie Magster's first podcast on how to use Microsoft Office Excel 2007 to create formulas. During this podcast, I will review some simple steps which can help make using Excel fun. Please note throughout this podcast, I have some things I want you to see on each slide highlighted in red. First, let's open a blank Excel workbook and then save the workbook using the name Excel spreadsheet. Then we can begin to enter cell headings across the top. Last name, first name, address 1, address 2, city, state, zip code, home phone, cell phone, date, account balance, account charges, interest, payments, account totals, and new balance, making sure to enter each heading in its own cell. Now let's select all 16 headings and about 10 to 15 rows going down. While on the Home ribbon tab, click on the bottom right-hand corner of the font box, and this will bring up the Format Cells dialog box. This box will open on the Font tab, and let's change the font, size, color, style to our liking. Now let's click on the Border tab and then select the type of border, style, color, and then select the borders areas where they should apply on the spreadsheet. And close the dialog box by clicking OK. The first 9 columns of the spreadsheet, starting with last name to cell phone, will be where client demographic information will be entered. The date column will have a date formula, while 3 other columns will have calculations. First, select only the date column, then select the little arrow in the right corner of the numbers box on the Home tab. This will bring up the Format Cells dialog box, this time on the Numbers tab. Now let's select the date from the category and then select the date type. I have selected the date with the time. Then click OK. Now let's select the columns account balance through new balance. Then select the arrow in the bottom right-hand corner of the numbers box on the Home tab. This will bring up the Format Cells dialog box again on the Numbers tab. Now select currency from the category. Then select how you would like your currency to be displayed. I have selected the negative currency to show up in red. Now click OK. No calculations will be in the columns named Account Balance, Account Charges, and Payment. These columns will be used for data entry. But the columns named Interest, Total, Accounts Total, and New Balance will have calculations added. To calculate the interest of the account balance, first click in the cell under the word interest. Then click the equal sign. Then select the first cell under the account balance. Then type the asterisk sign for multiplications. Then click 0 0.00799. This will calculate 7.9% interest on the account balance. Click the Enter button on the keyboard. Now let's calculate the Accounts tab, Accounts Total. Click in the first cell under Accounts Total, then click the equal sign. Then select the first cell under Account Charges, then type the plus sign, then click the first cell under the Interest, then type the minus sign, then click the first cell under the Payments. This will be a total of all new charges, plus your interest on last month's balance minus your payments. Now let's add up the new balance by selecting the first cell under New Balance. Then enter the equal sign and then select the first cell under Account Balance. Then enter the plus sign, then select the cell under the Accounts Total. Then click the Enter key on the keyboard to finalize the calculations. The final calculation step will be to select all cells from Interest through New Balance with the formulas and drag the calculations down the length of the formula area. This will place the $0.00 in all cells with calculations. Make sure that you have the little X or plus sign in the corner of the last cell selected before starting to drag the formulas downward. Now let's start to enter some data. But first, our spreadsheet is very long and some of the data goes off the screen. So let's place a freeze pane by clicking on the cell just beneath Address 1. Then select the View tab. Then select Freeze Pane from the Window dialog box. This will allow the client's name to be visible while scrolling to the right. Now let's review some of the data that was entered. Since I had selected the negative number to show up in red for my currency, you can see 3 of my clients' account totals show up in red, which means their payments for this month total more than their account charges and interest together, which means their new balance is going down. Whereas the other 2 clients have charged more to their accounts, making their account charges and their interest totaling more than their payments, which means their new balance is going up and not down. Well, this is it for my first podcast. I, Maggie Magster, would like to thank you very much for taking your time to watch and listen to my hard work in motion. It has been great, and I hope you will visit my website again in the future, since I am hoping to make more Excel video podcasts to help you learn more about using Excel. Thanks again. Have a great day.